Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I have another video ECM test, this time in a 2007 Mini Cooper S with an N14 engine. It's a R56, that's the designation of the vehicle. This is Ernie D from Colorado. He sent his computer. I asked him, what's the concern? He says, I'm being diagnosed my computer with no communication. So I have the computer connected and it's actually talking. So I'm just going to move you here. Yep, so we have I put just this in here so you can see what the computer got here. 7:31. Today is the 1st of August 2025, and I have multiple pages of Autel scan report sent with the information that he sent. Let me put some light in here. So we have the ABS DSC saying no message error, digital motor electronics present. I don't know what order is this on. Oh yeah, page 2. So page 2 is this one. In the same module, message error, digital electronic, no communication, DSC, message not received, and that is D366, D367, and D365, all in the ABS or DSC, right? Then we have the instrument cluster about the same. No communication with the DME, and then A3, AD, A, the letter. And then another one from the cluster, not communicating to the computer. And then the junction, the JBE, no message from the DDE or DME because it's not present. Sorry, the fault is present. What is not present is the module, right? Junction box electronic K-can line fault. Then airbag, transmitter cast, no message, that is absent. Electronic power steering, no message from the DME present. So yeah, it looks like he had a bunch of faults. And the last one looks like it's full wheel module, no integrated automatic heating and air conditioning. And those are the faults. It says something about wiper, no communication with the DME. No message from the DME. I mean, it's like you see 3 pages of fault codes. I have in here, I cannot show you because all the information is in here and I have not take the time to erase the information from the picture. So I'm going to just read in here. I can actually flip it away like this. It says, well, you can see right here, no communication, and the last digits of the V number should be T as in Thomas, S in L as in Louis, A6560. A6560, yeah, that's exactly what I have. So let me put the ultra and the meter on the screen. So as you can see, and I didn't even move from this screen because I wanted to show you that first. What I usually do with the scanner is, connect it and see if it's communication and see what I'm missing, because his concern is definitely not happening here. So Ernie, I have multiple videos showing this, and I don't know why mechanics don't actually follow that, because, well, I guess it's impossible for everybody to see the video, right? But I have a full video explaining how to do a test on the computer, where all you really need, and this is exactly what I have here, is to keep this connector on. When you have this connector on these vehicles, let me get the wire diagram so we can see this a little bit. So guys, well, let me just also say that what I'm going to show here is going to be, well, since we have communication, right, it's going to show you what test can you do in the vehicle to find out if the problem is in the computer or if the problem is in the car. Very quick, probably 10-15 minutes at the most. That's all you need. So just stay tuned, because I'm going to get the wire diagrams to explain you what you need to do and why am I doing this, like that you understand yourself, because it is important to understand what you're doing, not just do a repetition. Because if I just tell you disconnect that and tell me what you read, and yeah, it's the computer, you will be like, well, why? I like to know. I am a person that I love to know, and it's a very simple procedure, so anyone can do it. you will need only is the multimeter, disconnect a couple of things, and it's like I said, 10-15 minutes, you will know if the computer is the problem or the car is a problem. All right, so let me just, again, get the wire diagrams. Give me 1 second, okay? All right, guys, I got the diagram in the screen, so let me just move you over there. Let me take the ultra and the meter out of the way, and let's get to here. So on the right side of this screen, let me get a box so you guys can see what I'm actually talking about right here. That is the accelerator pedal module. That's how Mini Cooper BMW calls it. This is the only sensor that uses two different fiber reference, and the reason they do that is to see two signals, and if one goes down or goes away, you can still accelerate. The accelerator pedal will still read with the other one, and it uses the two signals to compare to make sure they're always in agreement, because one, when you accelerate, one will go up and the other one will go down. So it's kind of like one way goes up and the other one goes down. So it's the opposite as the other signal. And that's what the computer is expecting. So that's why we have two grounds, two fiber reference, and two different signals on the accelerator pedal sensor. This computer uses three fiber reference. And I have showed that in multiple of the videos. If you want to know where all those sensors are and where are, just go and watch the video from Tim Geloff. And you will find all the information in there, including how the fiber references are divided. So I try to focus in here just to explain you that in this sensor, we have two fiber reference. So, and on this connector in the computer, the one I just showed you before, is where this fiber reference come from. So this connector, the one I have connected on the computer now, is connector X60004. The one, the next to that one, it could be 12 or to 32, and there is a small connector. So there's two big connectors and a small connector, just because I don't have the other numbers in here and I don't want to give you the incorrect information. But so we're going to focus into this one. Why? Because on that connector, the computer has the powers, the grounds, the communication, and I have two fiber reference. So what I need you to do is you're going to go over to the pedal, accelerator pedal, right? So you're going to remove it. It's usually two 10mm bolts or nuts to hold it down. You're going to remove it and you're going to get access to the connector. In there, you have that connector, which in here is named X11400, right? So that is the B10 is the accelerator pedal. And then the connector is the X11440. That connector has 6 pins, even though only, let me just see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's actually, yeah, 6 pins, six wires. So yes, we got 3 for one sensor and 3 for the other sensor. We're going to go directly to the fiber reference in here for the naked eye. Let's say, you know, the ones that don't work in European vehicles like me. Let me just show you how can you find out which one is a ground and which one is a sensor signal or which one is a power. In this case, a fiber reference, right? So if we see in here, we got all these with like terminal 15 or 15 numbers in here. And this had what it looks like a transistor. These two lines in here. So the one that comes from the accelerator pedals and pin 4 and pin 6, they go over to that and it has a transistor. So the reason BMW Mini Cooper put that in there is because that signal will be pulling or read by the computer. So that is the signal. When you read this 15 in here, that's terminal 15 is really internally in the computer is by ignition. But realistically, what is coming in there is the fiber reference. So when you see a U on the wire, like in here, UFWG2, that is the fiber reference 2, and UFWG1 is fiber reference 1. And I can show you here, I have it exactly marked and everything already in my harness, so I know exactly what I'm saying. When you see an M, like M is for grounds, and that comes from the German name or word. So that is why it's like that. It's in here. Also, you see how it's, and start to see yellow green. It's like GE and gray. you have a GE, that is a color in German. So even though this is already translated, they have not translated all those colors and signal names. They just kept it like that. So blame BMW, blame Mini Cooper, but that is why. So what we need to do is on the accelerator pedal, you need to find which pin is pin 5 and pin 3. Those are two separate fiber reference. So without disconnecting everything, this is the only thing, follow exactly as I'm saying. So what you're going to do is go over and remove the accelerator pedal, get to the connector, find pin 3 and pin 5, which are marked in the connector. You will be able to see it or disconnect the accelerator pedal, and then inside the actual connector of the module, right, of the accelerator pedal, you will see the pin out numbers. And make sure that you are in the connector, on the terminal 3 first. You're going to put your multimeter negative lead to the battery negative. Even if you have to rig a wire, make sure that you do all these tests with the battery negative cable. Why? Because if it's a bad ground in the engine, you still will have either a good reading or a bad reading. So we need to do that. Put in our negative lead on the battery terminal, negative battery terminal. The positive lead or your multimeter, you're going to put into that wire, but we need to connect to have everything in place. So first, you're going to either use a T-pin or a needle probe, and I have shown this in multiple of my videos. Has to be next to my face. So this, on a multimeter, right, lead like this one, I can put them in the front of this, and I can go behind the connector and on that accelerator pedal and put that in there so I can get the reading. So now when I know that I'm connected into the right wire and everything is good, I'm going to turn the ignition on and see what the voltage is. Let's say you have with the ignition on 2 volts or 1 volt or 0 volts. I don't know why this camera keeps doing the color, like it changed you see the it's like a auto focus and auto, I don't know, like it's changing the focus of the camera, so it's getting more light, and I can see that on my screen. So sorry about that, but and that's a very expensive camera from Sony. I'm probably gonna have to do an update on this on the software. But well, either way, so going back into the test, let's say you got no voltage. Okay, is the computer bad? Not yet, not yet. So now what we're going to do is the next thing. You're going to leave your multimeter exactly where you are connected now. Don't touch anything. And we're going to turn the ignition off. That's all you need to do. Turn the ignition off. You can wait for like, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes or a minute just to let the computer go to sleep. Right? That's very important. Make sure that you close the door so the computer or computers can go to sleep. And then what you're going to do is go into the computer, the engine computer, which is like, it's on the driver's side, inside the engine compartment, right next to the coolant reservoir. And you're going to disconnect the small connector and then the big connector next to the small connector, which is the middle. The middle connector is a big connector, and the one on the right side is a big connector. So we're going to disconnect the small connector, and all you need to do, let me turn this off no matter what, we're doing a test. All you need to do, let's say, this is the computer connected, and all I need to do is slide this. This is going to have a lock, and I remove it in here. So you're going to have to press that lock down. It's like a tab, a tab that you need to press down, and then you can slide this down and unplug the connector and get it out of the way. All right. So you're going to remove this one and this one, and we're going to leave this. This is the only connector that we're going to leave plugged in. Okay, now that you have this disconnected, we're going to go back into the inside of the vehicle, and we're going to turn the ignition on. If you turn the ignition on and you still have no voltage, now there is one last thing they need to do, right? Because we still have one sensor connector. You know which connector is now connected? The accelerator pedal, right? And there's still some other sensors that needs to be unplugged, and that's what I was going to show you next. Because the first sensor that you need to unplug then and see if the fiber reference is coming back is going to be the accelerator pedal, or the pedal sensor, the one we just described. Now let me show you the rest of the sensors that are connected in there. All right, so that's the reason I didn't start with this first, because I don't want to I don't know, like what's the correct word? Get you distracted, let's say, or fill you with information that you're not prepared yet. So I think that everything that I have described is pretty easy, pretty simple to do. So in the X604, let's see what sensor we are having connected in there. None. I was actually wrong. There is the only sensors that are connected in there now is only the accelerator pedal. So look in here. So now we have in this side on the left upper corner, we have the 5-volt reference 1, which includes the accelerator pedal, the intake camshaft, engine oil, crankshaft position sensors. And then the 5-volt reference 2 has the exhaust cam sensor, intake air temperature sensor, electronic throttle actuator. It depends if you have automatic start or not. And I think the 07 didn't have that. It will have just the refrigerant pressure sensor. And then, actually, let me just rephrase that, because I'm looking at it here and it looks like, yeah, the refrigerant pressure sensor is part of still of that. And if you have an automatic start vehicle, then you can have the neutral sensor, the brake braking sensor included in there. So there is still some 2 sensors more that you can. And for this vehicle, Ernie, I think that you don't have an automatic start stop. The only other sensor that could be there giving you a problem, it would be the refrigerant pressure sensor, which is in the front of the vehicle, same side of the driver's side. Is kind of like under the coolant reservoir, somewhere in there. It all depends, because yes, I was actually misspoken. The DME is actually next to the strut tower. The coolant reservoir on this vehicle is on the front driver's side. So the refrigerant is kind of like underneath of that reservoir. So you have to look for it. But you always have your good friend Google. Just Google for refrigerant pressure sensor in your vehicle, and that will tell you if you have a problem on that one or not. So going back into the test that we were doing. So now we remove everything from the vehicle. If we still have no 5-volt reference, when you turn that ignition off, disconnect the pedal module. Now you're going to disconnect the pedal module, and you disconnect the pedal module and it comes back, well, there's your problem. You can either start with that, because let's say if you want to, before disconnecting the connectors, disconnect the accelerator pedal module and see if the 5-volt reference come back. I mean, it's okay. The sequence of my testing is my own decision. How do I start? But yes, I will say probably it's not a bad idea to disconnect the pedal position sensor and see if the voltage come back. Because in those pins 3 and 5, that voltage has to be always there. And the reason I'm telling you this is because if the 5-volt reference is shorted, any of the sensors are shorted, that can stop the computer from talking. It will bring the computer down, and it will make a no communication, which is probably or most likely what you have in this vehicle. And that's what I have started with this diagnosis and wire testing, because I can see that I have communication. So let's go back to the view of here. I'm going to put the Ultra back in here, and the multimeter. As you see, I turn the computer off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch. So you can see this. I'm going to power off the BCI from Altel. So this one has a battery. Let me take the view so you can see. Well, actually, you cannot even see it from there. But this BCI is also an oscilloscope. Sorry about that. It's an oscilloscope, a multimeter. So this is very capable. This is a very expensive scanner. Or, I mean, an expensive scanner, not that very expensive. But yeah, so this has that. So it has a battery, because this is a wireless module, right? So it needs power when you're doing, or when you're using your oscilloscope and you're not connected to the DLC. So right now I'll power it off, so because otherwise it will keep the memory of the B number. So we're going to reconnect again. All right, so let me put the Ultra in the screen again. I'm going to power up. So I don't know why let me move this a little bit higher, guys. And there you can see when I'm pressing the buttons and everything. But right now, you see everything is off. So I'm going to turn these on. And the BCI has to, come on. But you can see the fiber reference immediately on. And I don't need to really even press anything. When the scanner connects, or the BCI, the scanner connects to this BCI wirelessly, and is connected to a car, it should read the B number immediately. It hasn't connected. You will see where it says BCM. It has a red X. It hasn't connected yet. So let's wait for that connection to happen. Okay, I just hear the beep, and boom, instantly connection. So yes, I don't see anything wrong with your computer, Ernie. We have fiber reference. I can move because again, this has another fiber reference that I can check in here. I'm going to disconnect it from that one. That was fiber reference 1 and pin 46 and the X604 connector. I'm going over to pin 20, which is the fiber reference 2. And we got 5 volts. So you can see if I remove it from this cable, we go to 0 volts, or that reading you see right now is actually just voltage on the air, because I'm not connected to nothing, but you can see it's millivolts. So if I connect in here, so 2 out of the 3 fiber reference are good. This computer has absolutely no issues, and I don't think it's a problem with the computer because of his concern, right? What was Ernest's concern? No communication. And no communication is why? Because something is shorting down the communication or the computer to a point that makes it stop. So this is definitely a problem in the vehicle, Ernie, nothing in here. So we're going to enter, no matter what, to read what faults we have in the DME. So we're going to select Mini Cooper. And since there is nothing else connected, it's going to say that the communication is faulty, but that's just because we have no complete vehicle connected, right? That's not what I meant to do. Here, no matter what, you can see the computer from there as well. So we have, again, the big number. We're going to click OK, and it's telling us everything is an R56 N14 engine. That's decoding the B number of the vehicle. Not sure why his because I was looking at his diagnostic report. It doesn't say what it is in there, which is probably is not an Ultra. It says Maxicom. Oh yeah, it's an MK808. So that's a different scanner. All right, replace a terminal. Yeah, I don't do this. You need to do that in the vehicle. Turn it off for 10 seconds and then turn the ignition back on. But in here is, again, just one module connected. So no matter what, it's going to connect to that computer. But since nothing else is connected, it's going to say that we have, a faulty communication. Right there. Okay, so we're going to just keep going. Keep an eye on the fiber reference, because that's why I went into all this conversation and everything, because I want to see if we have a problem or not with the computer. Realistically, I don't think so, because computers don't just go bad out of the blue or nothing. Something shorts it out, or you disconnect a wire. Be careful with the ground on the valve cover for the coils. If that ground gets disconnected and you try to crank the car with that disconnected, it will cook the computer. It's repairable. I can repair it, but it's going to cost you. So as long as you keep that ground, and I will even recommend to move that ground someplace else into the cylinder head that is not necessary to be removed or disturbed when you do any valve cover, gaskets, or so like that. You will remove yourself from an expensive computer repair for just a wire that is loose. It's a very bad design. It's a flaw on the engineer design that should be covered under warranty, because it's just retarded. But yeah, that's the way it is. All right, so we're going to enter into the DME again. We have not started yet to see the code, so let's see what we have here. And we're going to have multiple, obviously, faults because nothing is connected, right? So all I have connected right now is a scanner. But let's see if we have anything absent or something about the fiber reference that I need to see. Throttle, master flow sensor. No, Ernie, it's nothing I can go by here that I can help you with. There is not a 3Y C9 fault that would have told me that you have indeed something in there that I can recommend you, but nothing. Nope. Yeah, so yeah, this is a completely good computer. We can see that we read, programming data. It looks like this computer was programmed in March 16 of 2020. And that's what we see here. Programming version. This is what we have in here. Software number, kilometer reading. Yeah, nothing production date. We have it, but that's it. So yeah, guys, that's it. I'm sorry, it's just a test, but I try to at least take the time and explain you what tests you can do in the vehicle when you have a no communication. And hopefully Ernie can show this to his mechanic, and then they can figure it out. But the problem is definitely not in the computer. I also would like to express the transparency of my work, the transparency of my business. I could take advantage of this person if I would have no ethics. And I would tell, oh, yeah, your computer needs to be replaced. And it's going to cost you this much. And they're looking for to repair it, right? Because they want to have the car running. And I would make money, but no. I have been taught by my father and my mother to be honest. I'm originally from Costa Rica, and I'm having living in the United States for many, many years. But my ethics has never changed, and I think that is karma. And I believe in karma as far as being honest is so important. So you are in the best hands. Period. There is no other company in the world that shows you what I'm trying to show you. That shares the knowledge, that takes the time to guide a customer, and also to be honest and just tell them, there's no repair needed. You have the problem in the vehicle. I have no problems with that because that is the truth. All right, guys. So if you're here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.